Welcome. I go by Dark Veil, and these are my tales. I died 3 times before I understood what the coin really wanted from me. Turns out, dying wasn't the punishment. Coming back was. The first death was quick. Blade through the ribs, my own blood pooling in the dirt while something that used to be human rifled through my pockets. I remember thinking it was a stupid way to go, bleeding out in some forgotten alley in Crossmark while the thing wearing a merchant's face hummed a children's song. Then I felt the coin burn against my chest, and the wound healed itself. The creature looked up, confused. I wasn't. When I got up, I realized I'd stopped shaking. Not because I'd calmed down, because something in me had stopped caring about the knife. I ran. That was 4 days ago, and I've been running ever since. The problem with not staying dead is that word travels fast in the wrong circles. By the second morning, I had 3 separate bounties on my head, all from groups I'd never heard of, with names that sounded like they were pulled from fever dreams. The Choir of Still Tongues, the Mercy Collective, the Unfinished. Each one wanted the coin, and each one knew exactly where to find me, no matter how far I traveled. The coin made sure of that. I found it in a dead woman's hand 2 weeks back. She'd been clutching it so hard her fingers had broken, bent backwards around this dull silver disc about the size of a pocket watch. No markings I could read, just symbols that seemed to shift when I wasn't looking directly at them. I only took it because I was desperate and stupid, 2 qualities that have defined most of my adult life. Needed money for food. Figured I could pawn it somewhere. The moment I touched it, I felt it sink into me, not physically, nothing that simple. It was like the coin decided we were connected now, whether I agreed or not. I tried to throw it away that first night, hurled it into a ravine, deep enough that I couldn't see the bottom. I woke up the next morning with it tucked into my shirt pocket, cold against my skin. I stopped wondering how, started wondering what it wanted me alive for. That's when I started to understand I was in trouble. The second death happened in a barn outside Fenrich. I'd holed up there thinking I could get a few hours of sleep before pushing north toward the fractured territories where, supposedly, things like this coin weren't uncommon. A woman found me instead. She looked normal at first, tired traveler seeking shelter, but her shadow moved wrong, independently. By the time I noticed, it had wrapped around my throat and started squeezing. I remember the panic as my vision tunneled, the desperate clawing at nothing because shadows don't have substance you can fight. The pressure kept building, my lungs screaming, dark spots eating away at my sight. Then the burning again, the coin lighting up like a star against my chest, and suddenly I could breathe. The shadow recoiled, and the woman, she just stood there staring at me with these empty eyes. "You don't know what you're carrying," she said. "You don't know what it costs." Then she left. just walked out into the night like she'd delivered a message she was obligated to share. I should have been terrified. Instead, I felt annoyed, inconvenienced, like fear was something that happened to someone else now. I didn't sleep after that, though. The third death was worse because I caused it myself. By then, I'd made it to Ashgate, a trading post that exists in the gray space between legitimate commerce and the kind of dealings that happen behind closed doors. I figured if anyone knew how to break a bond with a cursed object, it would be someone here. I found a broker named Sutton who specialized in problematic acquisitions. He took one look at the coin and his face went pale. "Where did you get this?" His voice had gone quiet. "Careful. Does it matter?" "It's a tether, one of 7 ever made. You're bonded to it now." I figured that part out. How do I unbond? Sutton laughed, but it sounded more like a cough. "You don't. The bond breaks when you die, permanently. Not whatever temporary situation you've been experiencing. The coin brings me back?" "No." He leaned forward. "The coin won't let you leave. There's a difference." He explained it then. The history I'd stumbled onto. The tethers were created during the separation, when something, we don't have a name for it anymore, tried to cross over from wherever it lives into our world. 7 people volunteered to anchor reality in place by binding pieces of their souls into objects that would serve as weights, keeping the barrier stable. It worked, mostly. The crossing was stopped, but the tethers remained, and they still serve their original function. They anchor things. "Whoever you took this from," Sutton said, "they were an anchor point, and now you are. The coin doesn't protect you because it likes you. It protects you because if you die, if the bond truly breaks, reality becomes a little less stable in this region. Things start slipping through." "What kind of things?" "The kind that already know you have it." He paused, studying my face like he was looking for something specific. "How long was she carrying it? The woman you took it from?" "I don't know. Months? Maybe? A year, maybe?" "They last longer than that, usually." His voice dropped. "Before they stop being people." I wanted to ask what he meant. Wanted to ask what happened to the other 6 anchors. His face told me I didn't want to know. That's when they arrived. Not through the door, through the walls themselves. 3 figures that looked like they'd been poorly assembled from memory. Human shapes, but wrong in ways that made my eyes hurt. Limbs that bent at angles that shouldn't exist. Faces that were more like the idea of faces. Features that couldn't quite stay in one arrangement. They didn't speak. They reached for me, and their hands passed through Sutton like he wasn't there. Maybe to them, he wasn't. I felt their touch. Cold that burned, pressure without substance, fingers that seemed to reach past my skin into something deeper. I felt my heart stop, actually felt it seize and quit, and for a moment I was somewhere else, somewhere dark and vast, and full of things that noticed me noticing them. The coin burned so hot it should have left a scar, and then I was back, gasping on the floor while the figures stood over me like they were considering whether to try again. Sutton was gone, just gone. No body, no trace he'd ever been there except for the chair he'd been sitting in. I ran again because running was all I knew how to do. But this time, when I finally stopped, when I leaned against a tree, gasping for air that didn't seem to fill my lungs right anymore, I caught myself humming. Took me an hour to realize it was the same children's song the creature in Crossmark had been humming while it killed me. I don't know that song. I've never known that song. But something in me does. That was yesterday. Now I'm heading north because there's nowhere else to go, following rumors of a place called the Severance House, where bonds can be broken if you're willing to pay the price. I don't know what the price is. I don't care anymore. 3 deaths in 4 days, and each time I come back, I can feel there's less of me than there was before, like the coin is filling in gaps with something else, something that doesn't belong. The worst part isn't the dying, it's understanding that the coin isn't saving me, it's keeping me. And I'm starting to suspect that everything hunting me, all these impossible things with their wrong shapes and their hungry patience, they're not trying to take the coin. They're trying to set me free. I can see the mountains now, where the Severance House is supposed to be. Another day of walking, maybe less if I push through the night. I don't know what I'll find there. I don't know if breaking the bond is even possible, or if Sutton was telling the truth before he disappeared. But I know I'm tired of running, and I'm tired of dying, and I'm tired of feeling the coin burn against my chest like a reminder that I don't belong to myself anymore. And I know that when I finally reach the Severance House, when I find whoever or whatever can break this bond, I'll discover the real cost. Because nothing that brings you back from death 3 times does it for free. The coin is warm now, warmer than it's been since I took it, almost hot, not like it's afraid, like it's excited. In the distance, I can see smoke rising from where the Severance House should be. Fresh smoke, like someone just lit a fire, or like someone's been waiting. One more day, one more death, maybe. Then we'll see who really owns who. I hope you enjoyed my story and my narration. I pride myself on my narration and storytelling. If you are, please like, comment, or subscribe to my channel. It really is appreciated. And if you're feeling extra generous, you can buy me a coffee using the link in the description. And until the next Dark Veil tale, have a frightfully fun day.